Okay, so in this video, I want to talk about how to change your desktop theme to match your wallpaper colors. So in order to do that, you need an application called Matugen. I think I've talked about it before in a video. So what Matugen does is it samples, when it runs, it samples all the colors from your wallpaper, and then it creates custom CSS files, JSON files, whatever type of file your applications that you have specifically installed uses to use in their colors, to change their colors. So it generates all that files for all the specific applications. Right, so that's basically what it does. And then you have to take that files, I call it color files, and that color files will generate a copy, and you take that copy and you put it in each application's folder so that it can understand what colors to use. So it's a color code. Anyway, let's just get into it. But let me just show you quickly how this looks like. So if I change my wallpaper, so at the moment it is, let me just close that again. As you can see, the dominant color is pink and orange and so on, maybe some blue, but the bright colors, this will be the colors called the primary colors, and the background colors, which is not so bright, it doesn't stand out, this will be the surface colors. So you get primary and on primary, and then surface and on surface. Now the on surface and on primary is usually text based. It has to stand out a bit more. It's usually white. Right, so if I open, let's open just a terminal, open two terminals. As you can see, it uses the background colors in the text. So you can see it's kind of pink. Let me make it bigger. As you can see, it's pink and then a little bit brown or yellow there. And so that's the text. And then as you can see, the border is kind of pink as well. So it's two-toned. Right, so it's pink. And yeah, let's open a file explorer. As you can see, my folders are pink. So this is the dominant color. You can change that, where you say, okay, I want my folders the surface color, which is the color that doesn't stand out that much. So it will make it that gray blue color, but at the moment it's the primary color. Even the selection bar background, as you can see, it's pink as well. Now these two are separate. It was an absolute nightmare getting that to work. So the folders are icons, and this falls in a different category. Right, so let me just check my notes quickly. So I just want to quickly show you everything that it changes. So there's hyperlock. So if I engage my hyperlock, you will see that I just got a simple time here, and the border around the text box is pink. You can change that background if you don't want it black as well, but all this is default. As Matugen see fits, it applies it to your certain applications. So this is obviously hyperlock. Let's log in. You can even change the color of that password dots. Right, so what else is there that I can check? So that was the Windows borders gets changed. Text color, icon colors like your folders, and if you have Waybar and there's icons on it, it will change it to a color of your wallpaper. Okay, terminals obviously. Oh yeah, and the power menu. As you can see, the background, yeah, this is called the selection background color. Background selection. So this box, that is that. Right, so now let's just close everything again. What you need to do is, I'm gonna open my Yazzie. Right, so when you install, so I'm gonna just show you quickly. So what you need to do is you just need to install matugen and SWWW. So SWWW is just a program that changes your background. So if you run it, it changes to the next picture. That's all that does, with a little animation obviously that I will show you just now. And then matugen obviously samples all the colors in your wallpaper, makes all those custom files, and then you can use them. So that's what matugen does. Right, and then obviously if you're going to use SWWW, you have to put it in your Hyprland file in exec once, so that the daemon can run at boot. Otherwise it won't work. Right, so when you install matugen, it's obviously not going to create any folders or files. You're going to have to create it yourself. Let's see, so you have to create a folder in .config matugen and templates. So that's all you have to do, just mkdir-p, create the folder matugen, and then inside matugen create another folder templates. Right, once that is done, you need to create a config file for matugen, config.toml. Obviously this is this one is wrong. Let me just put that out because that's, it's not supposed to be in templates. So create in the matugen folder a configuration file for matugen, which is called config.toml. Right, so let me just see now, that's pretty much all there. So let's go to that files and folders. So if you go to .config folder and you go to the matugen folder that you've created, there's the templates folder and there's that config.toml. So if you want to create the config.toml, I'll leave everything in on my GitHub page, all the dot files that you can just copy and modify whatever. Otherwise, if you want to do it yourself, you can just ask AI to create just a default matugen config.toml file for you, and it'll put in the necessary stuff. Obviously not all this you have to do manually for each application that you want your colors to be changed to. Right, so let's just go into it. So it's just a simple file. Here are all the applications that I want the colors to be changed to my wallpaper. So I even put it in Hyprland itself. So if I open hyprland.conf, you know, you can change the colors and borders and so on. So it's important. So what you have is you have input path and output path. The input path is the file in the templates that we will create just now, or that I will show you just now. And then the output path is the generated file from the template file. So it basically just copies its contents, either overriding it or it gets imported. So this file will be created, for instance, for Hyprland. It will be in .config hyper colors.conf. If I go to Kitty's folder will be obviously .config kitty colors.conf. That colors.conf has all the color codes in it for Kitty to use, and that file is being generated by the template file called kitty.conf. So don't look at my naming conventions, it's horrible. It should be kittycolors.conf, I mean, really. And there's Wofi. So Wofi's template file, again, I call it wofi.css, but it's better to just call it Wofi colors. Anyway, and then whatever is in there will be generated here or imported. You know, it just depends on how that application needs to do things. So as you can see, there's one for Wofi, Yazzie that I'm using, and what else? Even for Dunce, the notifier, hyperlog. There's hyperlog. So hyperlog.conf, hyperlog vars.conf. Anyway, you get the idea. You need to put that stuff in there, and then in the templates files, this is the actual color files for all your applications. So if we go in there and then we go to let's just go to hyperland.conf. That will be the file for Hyperland specifically. So this is being used by matugen. So colors.surface, and that whole string, as you can see, surface, that will be the subdued or background colors. So it chooses which ones doesn't stand out. That will be the surface color. And then the primary colors would be the ones that stands out. That's all determined by matugen. It will get that colors with this command and then put it in these variables that Hyprland can use. So this will hold the color value. Okay, so if I go out, let's see hyperlog, pretty much the same thing. Kitty is a bit different. So for Kitty, there is that same command thing from matugen, but Kitty uses just foreground, background, cursor, active tab, foreground, and then color from 0 to 7. So these are the variable names that you can use in the Kitty file. And there's for Wofi. There's the Wofi stuff, background, primary, and selected. And there's for Wofi. Wofi is pretty straightforward as well. Surface, on surface, primary, on primary. And there's Yazzie. Anyway, so so you have to create these template files too, but you can just ask any AI to generate you these template files for your specific application. So if you want a file for Kitty, just say I want a Kitty template file to change the color or whatever, using matugen. Obviously it will clearly understand what you want. So this is all in matugen. It needs the template files and the config toml file. Right, so let's just go to Kitty to show you where that file is now. So in that config.toml file of matugen, the output was that colors.conf. The input was called kitty.conf, and the template for Kitty was called kitty.conf, and the output is called color.conf. But you can name it whatever you want, obviously. So there you can actually see now there is the actual color code now for foreground, background, cursor, and so on. So you can actually take this hex color, paste it in Google, and it will actually show you the color of the file of that code, which is pretty cool if you want to see the color. This is just Kitty's configuration file, obviously. Right, so that's Kitty, and let's check another one. Obviously Wofi. Let's check Wofi. So there's Wofi. I've got a bunch of menus that I've created. But anyway, let's check this one. So again, I think the input file was wofi.css, and then the output file I called colors.css, and there's the colors.css. It's a simple file. There's the surface, and there's the actual hex code that it put in. Let me just open another Yazzie. Let's go to matugen. I know it's a long explanation, but it's pretty cool actually, if you understand this stuff. Right, so I don't know where I am now. Config, and then matugen. Right, so in this side we are in Wofi. So there's the, let's go down to the Wofi file. There's the Wofi template file of matugen. So that colors.surface.default.hex, it actually goes and it get the surface color, which I suppose it's that gray color, gray blue, and that's the actual color. And that color will be saved in this surface variable. And then this surface variable, you will be able to obviously use in Wofi. So if I go to, so there's the color file. If I go to the, I know, which one is this now? But anyway, let's just open it. As you can see, there's that colors.css file generated by matugen as the output. In Wofi, you have to import stuff. So you have to import that files in order to use that variable names inside here. As you can see, there's an on surface. It will be in that CSS file, and it has that color code inside there. So the entry color will be that color. So it's pretty straightforward. There's the primary color. There's an on surface one again, and so on. So you can play around with it. You can switch them around to if you want it darker or lighter. Right, so import. So if we import stuff and then it uses the word import, I just want to see what the other ones uses now. I think Kitty uses, oops, not that. Kitty conf. Kitty uses include again. There's that colors conf file that holds all the colors from matugen. So in the Kitty configuration file, you have to say include again so that you can use it inside. So they all use different words, and then I think, yeah, I think Hyprland uses something else. Let's just quickly go to hyprland.conf. Where's Hyprland? Yeah, right at the top. They use source again, and there's that colors conf again. So they use source again. So all of them use different naming schemes. If I go to look and feel, whatever is in that colors conf, I can use in this file now. Where is it now? Oh yeah. As you can see, column active border and inactive border. I use that color 1 and 2 and then background. So that holds the color of that file actually. Maybe I should just go there quickly. Hyprland conf. There it is. It's background, foreground, color 1 and color 2. So the whole concept is pretty easy to understand. It's just the little things that can go wrong and you struggle. But you get a good understanding of the whole coloring and theming thing behind the scenes. What files are being used and so on. So that is pretty cool. That's why I like it so much. It's a nightmare, but it's cool. Once it works, it just works. As you can see, my Yaz is using the colors too. It's pink and so on. Yeah, so damn cool. Right, so what is, oh yeah, okay, so once that is done, obviously you have to let me think now. So if I go to the config file, so in here in the matugen config.toml, it will have this input and output, so it will generate that files in that path that you specify. You don't have to manually copy that file there. It will do it as long as you have the template. It will generate this file. It will either overwrite it. I think it overwrites it all the time. Yeah, it copies the content from the input one to the output one. Yeah, That's basically how that works. I've tried with Brave, but Brave is a bit finicky. If I open Brave quickly, it's I don't know, it feels like it's using the colors. If I just do a selection, I mean it's brown, but we can just test it just now. And then that bar looks a bit lighter brown, so I'm not sure if it applies it. It's full of shit. So we can change that. So anyway, let me just show you how this works now. I'm just gonna close everything. So if I open my wallpaper selector, I just created a simple Wofi menu wallpaper selector. So if I put pictures in pictures wallpaper folder, it will show up here. So it's just a simple D menu in Wofi. I just dump all my wallpapers in here, and then I can select it. So once I select it, it will actually call my script now. Well, the script is already called, creating this Wofi menu, and then it will call SWWW to actually change the wallpaper, and then matugen to sample the colors. So let's change to that one. And with SWW, it's got that cool animation that you just saw. So now the dominant color is obviously those colors, and the surface colors is all these colors. So if I open a thingamajig, let me just see quickly. Yeah, it's pink still, but it's because the dominant colors are pink. Let's change to a different wallpaper. Let's go to my favorite wallpaper. Green. Dystopian industrial decay. So this is all green and a little bit of yellow and black. So it's very simple colors, but I like it. So we open a terminal. See, it's all green. Nice and green. And then if I open, let's just open Brave quickly just to see if it actually took, but I don't think it will. I'm not too worried about Brave. Screw it. It doesn't take, I'm not gonna dig around with Brave to figure it out. Oh, see, now it works again. So it actually does work. It's a bit of a different shade of... Ah, it works. Okay, so Brave works. Obviously it uses GTK, so it should work. I think it's a GTK glitch sometimes, specifically with Brave. Anyway, I'm glad that worked. Damn. Right, my power menu. Yeah, it's all good. That looks good. So let's close that. Let's check the folders. The folders are nice green, and that selection bar there is green. So it's even that, I think that text is that text green? No, I don't think so. But usually the text stays white, but you can change it to not be on surface or on primary, but then it will be very dark. It will take the darkest colors. Right, so I pretty much showed you everything. So let's recap. So, oh yeah, the scripts obviously. So let me just show you the scripts quickly. Obviously you need scripts to bring this all together. Right, so just create a few scripts. Obviously I had to create a script for my D menu, my Wofi menu wallpaper changer, because it has to call SWWW and matugen to do things. Right, it's just a simple script. It gets all the pictures in my picture wallpaper folders, puts them in a list, and then it depends on which one I select. It will obviously save that one, and then call SWW here. Oh, too big. it will call it here, and that it will actually change the wallpaper now to whatever I've chosen in the menu, and then it will call matugen to sample the colors of this and rewrite all those files. So it's a very simple script. It basically just calls these two programs to do things. Right, so I have another script here, recolor icons. Now the icons, like the folders, was a real biatch to get to work. My goodness, I struggled for days and days, but it finally works now. It's just little glitches. It's not really super difficult or anything like that. As you can see here, these two commands, G settings, this is actually being used by matugen. Oh yeah, and then it kills Funar because it has to restart to read its own color file again. But yeah, that is scripts. I can't think of anything else now. So no, it is... Okay, so let's just recap. So once you installed matugen, you create a folder matugen and templates. Then in templates, you create a file for each of your applications because they're all different. There's no standard, as you can see. And then in your TOML file, you obviously have to say input and output, so it can take the template file and recreate a new file for your specific application in your applications folder, specific app folder. So that's what that is doing. And with SWWW, you just need to install it and put it in the Hyprland conf file in the auto start exact equals SWWW. Anyway, put it in there. What's that command now? Yeah, this one. Exec once SWWW daemon. So the daemon has to run at boot. And then the scripts for your D menu. If you're not going to use Wofi or any menu, then I suppose you don't need the script then. But how are you going to change your wallpaper? So you can't change the wallpaper. Matugen has a command, SWWW has a command that you have to put in terminal, but who wants to do that? Anyway, let me just open my... So as you can see, this is my normal Wofi application menu. So it's all the applications on my Arch. As you can see, that green bar is there. This is this green selection background. It's green as well. All these things that I'm pointing out was a real mission to get to work. A real mission. Oh yeah, and then there's another thing. Let me show you quickly. So depends on what workspace you work in. They all got numbers. So they usually work with the super key and then 1, 2, 3, 4 to an endless number really. But sometimes you don't know in which workspace you're working at because you've got like 4 workspaces open with different windows in them, and it's like, oh god. And especially if you don't have Waybar installed like me. I don't have Waybar or Hyperpanel, so I don't know, because I like the clean look. That's why, the reason I don't install those stuff. So what I've done is I've used the Dunst notifier to actually show me in which workspace I'm working in. So I can just press, as you would the normal keys, as you would change to a workspace. So super 1, it will actually display there. I'm in workspace 1 now. If I press super and 2, it will go to my workspace 2 and show 2. I can show it again if I'm not sure which workspace this is. There's 3, there's 4. Just to show you that it is true. This is workspace 4. If I go to 2, there's nothing. There's 1. there's 3, and there's 4. So now I know at least in what workspace. That is just something I did. I think yeah, I'll just make a video next time after this one showing how to do that. And as you can see, the dunce notify is green as well. So let's just change the wallpaper again. Let's just change it to this desert area. There it's yellow now. That's so cool. And the time here, this is my conky time. Change this color too. I forgot about this one actually. Yeah, it's on my desktop. It just sits there. I need to know what the time is. I don't want to press buttons to see the time, so it just sits there. I like it there. I made a video about that as well. If you don't have Waybar or Hyper panel, then you need to do a few things. The reason I don't want Waybar is it reminds me of Windows. I don't want any taskbars anymore. I like this so much. Hyprland is, it's like my girlfriend, man. The girlfriend that I don't have. Yeah. So yeah, I just love it. I love it. It gives me headaches, but it's crazy. It's crazy good. Let's change the wallpaper again. And it just works. Let's go to this almost like a mono color. As you can see, blue. If I click on it, what will happen? Oh, it goes away. And the time changes as well. Ooh, where is it now? Where's the folders? Blue folders. Okay, this, yeah, just closed it. The script closes it, and you have to reopen it so that it can pick up the colors decently. Funar, I don't know if Dolphin would work differently, but Funar works like this. Right, let's change the color again. I can do this all goddamn day. Even the color in this background, but it's that selection background. Okay, what color should we go to? I like this one. It's greenish, kind of. There's greenish. That's greenish. Open a terminal. It's green. I don't know why that's brown. Is there brown in here? But yeah, that's green. Let's type in Hyprland. Oh, I can't type when I'm speaking. Hyprland. Yeah, blue. Yeah, perfect. There is blue in here. What's the other one? The folders. Yeah, that greenish blue. Ah, this is so cool. Even I've been working in this for a week, and I'm still amazed at it. I'm still fucking amazed at it. You can never do this in Windows. You could probably do this in Windows, but you need a million applications installed, or I don't know. I don't know, man. Look at that. Look at that. The yellow color. This one is still on green, so this is Yazzie. So some applications you just have to open again if you want to apply them. See, now it goes to the brownish color. Let's see my folders. This one takes a long time. It creates a whole new theme, icon theme, and there is no way around it. The generation to create this takes a time. It takes like 10 to 15 seconds. As you can see, it will apply eventually, but you just have to be patient. Maybe if you have a quicker computer, it will be quicker. Okay, this is weird. Why is that green now? Oh, did it apply that greenish color like a two-tone color? That's weird. But anyway, that is basically it. Yeah, I need to apply the colors again. Let's try this one. That my terminal, yeah, it's like brownish. Let's do brave. Let's see this one. Oops, there it closes it. Yeah, it's like brownish. It obviously matugen approximates the colors, so it won't get the exact color. So if you're gonna sample this color with my sample picker, I think it's Hyperpicker. Yeah, Hyperpicker. I've made a video here, you can check it out. So it won't get exact colors like this. It approximates, I think. I'm not sure. That's why it doesn't look exactly like the colors you see on the wallpaper. But it gets close enough. But if you want to, you can actually fine-tune it more. So if you like something really that much, there is a program that you can install. Umox Theme Designer. I've made a video that you can check out here, that you can fine-tune things. So if you run this, oh, it's white. I have to fix that. It's crazy. Let's just run it in here. For some reason, if I run it in terminal, it's dark mode. And now, oh, let's just see if it's still dark mode. Mix. This is throwing error now. Really? Can you believe that? Anyway, just run the white mode then. Very cool application where you can actually just fine-tune colors. So this is one of mine that I've created. There's a bunch of presets that you can use and modify from there. And then you can actually save it into your own preset. So if you take an existing preset, you'll have a preview pane here, how it would look if you apply it. And then you can actually start to fine tune it. So text color is gray. I can make it let's say red. Say that one. See, it changes that color there. So there it shows you that's how a button would look like. Text box, other buttons. Here's your icons. You can change the icon colors, and once you're done, so you can put very specific colors in here now. Like if I just go to a different desktop. If I take my color picker and I say I want that specific spot there, then I can actually put it in here. I suppose I can just put it in there, obviously. Paste it in there, select it, and there's that green color. Now change that text to that specific color, and you can just go crazy in here. Theme options, that's the roundness. Is it the roundness of the windows? Probably. Icon set, this is to do with your icons, so your folders and so on, and those type of icons. You can change the color there. There's your terminal and so on. Very nice application actually to fine-tune stuff. No, I don't want to save nothing. Yeah, so this is basically the video. Like and subscribe if you like this video, and would you use this? Do you like changing your theme to your wallpaper colors? I like it, but I usually just default to one wallpaper and I stick with that forever. So like I like this one for now. I'm just gonna stick with this one for a very long time until I'm so sick of it But I can't stand it. But I don't get sick of things that quickly. Look at this dystopian green color. It's just so cool. It's just so cool. Okay, this is still changing. Yeah, it takes 10 to 15 seconds for this to actually change. There it goes. Green. Boom. So everything is green. Everything is green. And then that, just to make sure everything is green. What else? And that's basically everything. So yeah, that is it. Good.